Good evening, everyone, and welcome out to Speed Racing Network, where we have week number 7 of the Xfinity series here at Richmond Raceway for the Get Richer 150. My name is Sean Griffith. I am here with my co-broadcaster, Landon Lacey. How's it going, Landon?
Doing pretty good. Looking forward to tonight's race, especially after the truck race we had last night. Little bit of kind of so much to say, a caution fest, but looking forward to seeing what these Xfinity guys can do tonight.
Well, you know, you always have the drivers versus the track, as well as the drivers versus the drivers. Doesn't matter which driver you were last night, the track won. And so tonight the Xfinity drivers are going to be out there trying to defeat this track, but also trying to win this race, because a lot of all-important points are on the line tonight.
Yeah, and you know, these guys have, I think we're about halfway through the season, regular season now, and these guys are looking forward to the playoffs and trying to position themselves in the right position to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and there, like I said, a lot of points on the line because, yes, it's still mid-season, that sort of thing, but you got to be careful. You don't want to discount any of those points, because those, we've seen last season one single point got people into the playoffs, and then one single point got people through the playoffs until the end. So those points all matter.
Right, and that's just the basic difference of one position on the racetrack, or just getting a lap led is a bonus point. So I mean, if it all comes down to the last race before the playoffs, 1 point could get you in, 1 point could get you out, and these guys are just grinding for points on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, now we've seen a lot of people, a lot of talk in the chats this entire week, and there are a lot of people that don't like this track. It's a very short track. It's very difficult to race on, but one of the things that has been said consistently is, I'm going to do everything I can to lead one lap so I can at least get that one bonus point, just in case this race doesn't count anyway.
Right, and that kind of adds a little bit to the cautions we were seeing last night. Everybody wants to get a bonus point for leading a lap, and that means everybody's trying to go for the front all at one time and trying to do what they can to get every position they can, and it just leads to contact on racetracks, people kind of driving in a little bit over their capabilities and causing a lot of these cautions.
Yeah, 150 laps tonight here at Richmond, and so just like we saw last night, there's going to be a lot of diving into these corners, trying to get those ever important positions out there. But when you dive into those corners, you definitely have that potential to cause a wreck, cause some bad mishaps out there. And to finish first, you have to first finish, and so that's the name of the game here tonight, with no fast repairs. Got to keep that car clean.
Right, and then like you said, no fast repairs. I think we'll see a lot more guys taking a lot more cautious going into these corners, not necessarily seeing some of the dives that we saw last night. Because if you wreck and ruin your race car, you don't have another chance to go down pit road and get it fully fixed up.
Absolutely. Now tonight we are in week number 7. We do have 20 weeks throughout the season, 13 regular season, and then we jump into the playoffs for the final 7 of the season. But we do have fixed setups here in the Xfinity series, so all the cars are the same. You can make just a couple of little minor adjustments that don't really deal with the performance of the car as much as it does how you as the driver drive it. And then no fast repairs, just like we were talking about. So really everybody on even keel here tonight.
Right, and the next one on there is the 10-week entry fee. These guys, they come in and pay $10, but you can walk out with so much more money, just by having a good finish, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. But that I look at that $500 to the team or the driver champion at the end of the season, and man, walking away with $500 at the end of the season is worth the $10 a week. I mean, we go 20 weeks, that's $200 for the full season, and you're walking out, you're doubling and a half your money. And then you also have the team championships that you could also earn another $200 per team. So you got 5 people on your team, you split that into $40 each, and you win the driver championship, you walk away with $540. So these guys have a lot of money on the line to race for.
Yeah, and that's something that Speed Racing Network is known for, is those payouts. We did pay out over $15,000 last season, on track to do the same or even more this season. So definitely a lot of money out there. And let's talk about those payouts now. On a week-to-week basis, we pay out the top 5. Doesn't matter how many drivers are out there on the track, we'll pay out the top 5. So that way it's nice and consistent. It's only $30 for first place, $20 for second, $10 for third through fifth. But it's that little bit of consistency there. It's that little bit of a taste that keeps them coming back.
Right, and I mean, if you're running consistent every week, finishing in this top 5, you're gonna at least get your money back, maybe even double or triple what you're paying. So I mean, these guys have a lot to race for, to run consistently.
The fun part about these weekly payouts is we've had some drivers that have come in week 1, they've paid their $10, and then they keep rolling it over because of good finishes and everything, and they end up literally not paying anything else for the rest of the season, which, I mean, you can't really beat that. This is good entertainment dollars, but even better entertainment dollars are the season payouts, and again, $500 for first place, $300 for second, $180 for third, $120 for fourth, so not a bad payday, even if you make it to that final round.
Right, and we're actually, it's a little bit different from last year. We're actually paying out the top 8 instead of the top 5. So these guys have a lot more incentives to race for, and to try to do the best they can later on in the season. Even if they don't make those final 5 drivers that we see at the end of the season, they still have 6th through 8th to race for.
Yeah, one of the keys in iRacing when you're running a league is to keep that car count up, and to keep those drivers involved even when they're out of the playoffs. And so I really think that this season, what Speed Racing Network has done is they have kept at least the top 10 drivers involved, and then with the team championships being a playoff, it's going to keep a lot more drivers involved than even last season. Last season we had good car count towards the end. Really, it wasn't as bad as some other leagues that we've seen, but definitely I think we've got a lot more participation this season.
Yeah, I mean, these guys know that from yours and Tripp's standpoint that they have something to race for. They're not just here week to week, just running around the track at the end of the season going, hey, I'm not really racing for anything. This season, we have something to race for.
Definitely. Now, if you need some help out there with your driving, if you want to be up in that top 5, if you want to learn the track or just iRacing in general, the best thing you can do is go out there and get a sim coach. And Kane Cook is one of the best sim coaches out there. He does run up in the highest series of them all, Coca-Cola series, so he does know how to get this car around the track, and he is known more than anything as the hard charger, so somebody that starts off in the back and works his way up through the front.
Right, and this man has 2 iRacing accounts at over 7,000. I can tell you just from a personal standpoint of used to being at a 5,000 iRating, that is not very easy to do. I look at drivers, especially like our current points leader, Greg Olenek, who works with Kane Cook on just about a weekly basis, and I believe that contributes to as why he is our points leader.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and every little bit can help. And anytime you get that one little tidbit, that one little thing that you're doing wrong, it changes your entire mindset of the race. And I think that's helped out Greg a lot this season. It could help out you as well. So go to speedracingnetwork.com, book your time there. Nice and easy to do. You just click on the link, you go through, you put in which time you want, what times are available, that sort of thing. And then he will get with you. You can do either a single person, a duo, you can do a whole team, you can do a big 10-person group. However you want to do it, he will set you up. So definitely go to speedracingnetwork.com and take care of that. But Landon, this season we have a brand new sponsor, and it's Beer Street Journal, and they have the Beer of the Week each week, and we're really excited about that. It's a lot of fun to do. But let's talk about this week's Beer of the Week. This week's Beer of the Week comes out of the spirits arm of Southern Tier Brewing. It's a ready-to-drink cocktail that is inspired by their popular pumpkin beer. It's called King and Cola, and it's exactly what you would expect, the perfect balance of pumpkin pie spices and peppery cola. The distillery also has a whiskey called Pumpkin Whiskey, but this can combines that with the classic taste of cola. It's the perfect mix, ready to go for your barbecue or adult get-together, especially as the weather cools off. But if pumpkin isn't your thing, that's okay. Southern Tier Distilling has also come out with vodka pink lemonade and lime agave margarita, both in the cans ready to drink. You can find these drinks in New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and North Carolina, so don't let the autumn season go by without trying out the King and Cola. The Beer of the Week is sponsored by BeerStreetJournal.com, the leading online publication for craft beverage reviews. Go to BeerStreetJournal.com to find your next great beer. And as always, you must be 21 to enjoy, and please drink responsibly. Yep, there it is, the King and Cola from Southern Tier Distilling, which is a part of Southern Tier Brewing. And again, in this autumn season, this is the time to have that pumpkin spice everything. And so definitely they have come out with this thing. It's kind of like a whiskey and cola, but it's kind of got that extra pumpkin spin on it.
Right, and I was just telling you I'm not much of a beer guy, but this is right up my alley with whiskey and Coke. Probably one of my favorite drinks to have at a local bar, and it's nice to see that implemented. And I'm definitely gonna have to go out and get this and try it for myself.
Yeah, definitely. And we appreciate BeerStreetJournal.com for jumping on board with us this season. So definitely go out there and take a look at it for your next great beer. And let's jump in right now with our standings here. So top 15 on this list. They are inside the cut currently. Of course, this changes from week to week, but what hasn't changed in the last couple weeks, Greg Olenek up at the top.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, being consistent. And Greg has constantly been a top 10, top 5 driver all season long, in which, and like we said, he's been working with Kane Cook as well, and it's showing as he's leading the points.
Yeah, and he's there. Devin Zimmerman, who was one of our finalists last season, up in second place. That doesn't shock anyone. Look at the teams here. You got Rev Racing in 2 of the top 3 spots. Then you have Tank Racing in 3 of the top 5 spots there. So definitely some team play going on there. But even if you look down a little bit further down the list, some classic names that we've known for a while here. Jose Castellanos was great in the Truck Series last season. Now he's doing really well here in the Xfinity. Bo Tiffany, a great driver from last season as well. Dylan Patterson, one of the best drivers that we had last season as well. Ted Rekich, he was up in the Cup Series. All these guys are fantastic. It's going to be hard to see if any of them get kicked out of this thing.
Right, and you just mentioned him, Ted Rekich. That's one guy I'm going to be looking at tonight. He's really good at Richmond. I could easily see him moving up, possibly close to the top 5 here by the end of the night in points.
Yeah, the other one that I like is Adrian Schumacher up there in 4th. He has come on really strong. He had a really great race back on the road course, but ever since then he has kind of been on a tear, which is why he's up towards the top. But outside the cut looking in, last week's winner Tristan Bailey sitting there for Smith Road Racing. He's right there on the cut, about 2 points back. Adam Pettit from Rev Racing, one of the classic stars from a couple seasons ago in Speed Racing Network. Mike Lepicki, who had a resurgence last season, still up there in the hunt here. So definitely a lot of good drivers here, and some drivers that they've already used those 3 drop weeks.
Right, and another one I'm looking at is Corey Saucier, one of the dominant Truck Series drivers last season. Kind of having a little bit of a late start getting used to the Xfinity cars this year, but I do expect him to end up in the top 15 by the time we get to the playoff run.
And if we didn't say the name Brandon Domain, then a lot of people will be upset with us. He has put the broadcaster's curse on so many people this season. It's time for us to do it right back to him. So Brandon Domain up there towards the top as well. So
why you gotta do Brandon like that?
I love Brandon. I love Brandon and Greg, our broadcast team from both Wednesday and Sunday nights. So just having a little bit of fun there. But if you take a look at the team standings here, Rev Racing out in front, but not far enough away that Tank Racing can't get back in this thing.
Yeah, for sure. Tank Racing, both Rev'd and Tank seem to be on that battle from week to week. Tank will have their drivers up, 1 week, and Rev'd will have it the next. And these guys just keep going back and forth. And I think it's going to be a really good team points battle by the time we get to the end of the season.
Definitely. Now let's introduce everybody to these teams because we've got about 5 minutes to go in qualifying, and then we are off to the races, literally. So the team introductions here. Rev Racing to start us off. Of course, they are up in that first position. And if you look at this team lineup, there's a reason why they're up in that first position. Aaron Gerwitz, Ted Rekich, Jordan Bain, Greg Olenek, Adam Pettit. No weak spots here at all.
Again, we've talked about it, consistency, and these guys are consistently running top 10s, top fives. It's hard to beat a team that does that from week to week.
Yeah, one of the teams that's been with Speed Racing Network for a few seasons now, Tank Racing, and most of these drivers on this team have kind of been together for a while. They did add, they added Vincent Cortez and Adrian Schumacher this season to this Xfinity Series team. But if you look at all 5 of these guys, again, just really no weak spots.
Right, and you talked about Adrian Schumacher earlier being on a consistent roll through the past couple weeks. He's been moving up the championship standings. I look at Vincent Cortez as well. He's good at short track, so I look to see him run pretty well tonight.
Third on the list, R&D Motorsports, and we call them the team from Tennessee. David Duke kind of put these teams together, and actually David Duke is actually out there running in this race, visiting from the Cup Series, but got a couple wins already this season.
Yeah, Ryan Phillips has got one. Dylan Patterson back at Dover. Bo Tiffany, Corey Saucier, and Stan Hausman.
And again, just so much talent there, and so many good drivers. Stryker Motorsports, another team that has those good drivers on there. They haven't quite gotten the finishes they've been looking for. I know I poked fun at Brandon Domain earlier, but man, he's just been in the wrong spot at the wrong time this season.
Right, and it's been that way with a couple of these guys. Tyler Markle, I see, as another one, has just had some good runs, just had some bad luck. If these guys could turn their luck around, they'd be finishing top 10s, top 5s.
Oh, definitely. Now, one team that has turned their luck around in another series, Jonathan Byer Racing. They've got a couple wins down in the truck series. They finally kind of got off of that winless snide that they had there, and so now up here in the Xfinity series, they gotta show some more stuff up here. But Austin Moore, who's kind of a new driver to the series, Josh Marcy, Josh Witt, Brian Huntley Jr., Nathan De La Rosa. There is definitely some speed out here. We just haven't seen them gel yet.
Right, and like you said, in the truck series, we've seen them, win the past couple weeks. They got second with Jonathan Byer on last night. Maybe some of that can rub off over on these Xfinity guys, and they can close the deal on one.
Next up, we got Rev Reloaded. So Rev Racing is one of those teams that had so many drivers on it that they had to split into 2 separate teams. They've only got 3 drivers on this team, though. They've got Zach Deutscher in the number 2, Danny Dow in the number 21, Nathan Nixon in the number 98. Something that a lot of people don't know if you haven't been with us for a while, Danny Dow, the original winner of Mid-South Madness, which was the first Speed Racing Network series. So a lot of talent there. Nathan Nixon, one of the best truck series drivers we had last season also.
Right, you got to remember as well, we only count 3 cars from each team for team points, so these guys have to finish well to be able to, get enough team points to move themselves up.
Definitely, and now another team that only has 3 drivers is Highline Racing, but that really hasn't stopped them from having those great finishes. So Seth Reid kind of leading the way on that charge. But they also have Wayne Rayburn out there, as well as Daniel Keith Jr., who's had some good finishes as well.
And like you said, Seth Reid is constantly running up front. We see him battling for wins and battling for top 5s on a week-to-week basis. So these guys do have a good backbone to lean on.
Next up, Smith Road Racing, another kind of new team this season, but they've got a win on the season also. They got Tristan Bailey, who took home that win last week, and so they are there. In fact, I don't have the winner sticker because. Anyway, but Dustin Scruggs, Christopher Darling, Tristan Bailey, again, only 3 drivers here. So they've got some work to do, but they can do it.
Well, Sean, there goes the Emmy again. I haven't even started the race, and we're already making mistakes.
I know, man.
Tristan Bailey, I could see him two-peating. He's another good short-track driver, so I expect him to be up front tonight.
Next up, we got Next Level Motorsports. Now, this team only has 2 drivers on it, so definitely they need all the help they can get on this. And looking out there in the room there, I don't see either of them out there. I could be completely wrong on that, completely off base. It was Zach Taylor and Ben Quimby Jr. Zach Taylor, one of our best drivers last season, with a few wins under his belt. So kind of disappointing to see him this far down, but him individually is a really good driver.
Right, and he's had some bad luck this season so far, but he's been turning that around. He had a good finish last week and looking to have another good one this week.
Yeah, next up, we've got a new team on the block here. So we've got JW Racing. And so again, brand new team to the series. We don't know much about them at all, except that one of their drivers, James Shanewolf, is up on the pole position right now. And another one of their drivers, Matthew Robinson, is back there in 5th.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, I was hoping that some of these guys I would have raced before, even just in official races, but I've never seen any of these guys, so it'll be pretty interesting to see how these guys run tonight and how they run as a team.
Yeah, I will tell you, there is another driver out there. I'm not going to name them or anything like that, but when we said, yeah, we've got this team, and they saw who was on this team, and one of those drivers was James Shanewolf, they said, oh, goodness, here we go. We're not going to win another race this season. So that should tell you how good they are, that drivers are already afraid of them without even racing them yet. But we do have 4 independent drivers out there tonight, Rhett Tucker, David Duke, Rob Yost Jr., and Jordan Sailors. But we've got all the qualifying done. James Shanewolf, again, from JW Racing up front. Adrian Schumacher from Tank Racing on the outside.
Yeah, and, I mean, like you said, they were talking about Shanewolf and then saying they're not going to win another race, but I mean, not even Adrian Schumacher, not even a tenth slower. Matter of fact, Jordan Bain and Seth Reid in 3rd and 4th, not even a tenth slower than Shanewolf. So I don't think we're going to see the domination that these guys quite expect.
Matthew Robinson there for JW Racing in 5th, Rhett Tucker in 6th, Adam Pettit for Rev Racing in 7th, and Nathan De La Rosa in 8th for Jonathan Byer Racing.
Then you got Ted Wreckage for Rev Racing, Michael Larch, another one of the new JW Racing guys, Corey Saucier for R&D Motorsports, and our good old buddy Brandon Domain for Striker Motorsports.
We're going to say that name as many times as we can possibly say that name tonight. But, all right, man, so I'll give you first pick here tonight. Who you got?
Well, I mentioned him in the pre-race show. I'm going to go with that number 10 of Ted Wreckage. Like I said earlier, he's really good at short tracks. I was actually talking to him last night. He was really confident coming into this race. And, man, there's something about the way his matte black car is. I just love how that stands out in the nighttime races.
Well, you can kind of see the message there on that matte black car. It says, happy 60th birthday, Dad. And so his father, also named Ted Wreckage, by the way, his birthday today. So happy birthday to Ted Wreckage Sr. Congratulations on making it to 60, and let's see if your son can bring it home here tonight. You know what? I'm going to go not too far away from him, and this guy is not going to be happy when I choose him, but right in front of him, Adam Pettit. He has not had a win here in SRN for a while, but he's got the talent to do it. I think that if he gets a good green flag run at some point here, that he is going to be tough to beat here tonight. So I'm going to pick Adam Pettit there. So a couple of Rev drivers are our picks here tonight, and that bodes not very well for Rev Racing at all whatsoever.
Oh, broadcaster's curse from lap 1, I'm telling you. But that's a really good pick. Adam Pettit always, puts the practice in. He's really consistent, and I don't see why he couldn't win tonight. That's a very, very good pick, Sean.
Well, and we're going to decide it on the track, and to be completely honest, it's kind of a crapshoot right now. We don't really know exactly how good these guys are going to be on this track. I know a lot of them want to do better than what the trucks did last night. They saw some disasters there, but let's see if they learned their lesson here.
Yeah, as these guys come down the backstretch, we're going to be seeing the green flag when they come back to the line, and I think, something that we don't really talk on much, but patience is going to be key tonight. Just, run the first couple laps, get in line, don't try to make any dumb moves.
Yeah, man, we're going to get this party started. James Shanewolf takes off, and we got Jordan Bain right behind him, pulling up into that second position. And let's see if he can hold off Adrian Schumacher there on the outside. He will take that second position away, but James Shanewolf has already kind of checked out a little bit.
Yeah, and like I said, you just want to try to get in a single file, try to get into your rhythm. Don't make any evasive moves that could put you in trouble, because like we talked earlier, there is no fast repairs.
No fast repairs at all, but man, that is not slowing them down. We've already got a little bit of wreck towards the back. It looks like Derek Da Silva and Jack Hedgecock's there, and that will bring out our first yellow flag of the evening.
Yeah, and these guys are probably racing side by side going off into 3. I don't even know. Sadly, I don't have my iRacing working tonight, so I'll just have to go off you tonight.
Well, that is That's kind of brave, to be completely. So here we go, but we're going down this backstretch and basically 3 wide. Jack Hedgecock kind of slows down, and then you got Derek DeSilva coming up a little bit. So I don't know who to call that on really, but 3 wide here is not going to work.
Well, yeah, and I just don't think that Derek DeSilva had the right angle into the corner as well, and wow, really late break on there too, and it's just just a little bit of a bad angle, late braking, and 3 wide just does not work here.
Yeah, and Jordan Sailors gets a little piece of that as well, and again, that is just going to cause some havoc already on these cars, and that's just something you can't do right now. You don't have these cars are built like tanks. These particular cars, these Xfinity cars, can go forever, but they're not going to go very fast if you keep doing this.
Yeah, and these cars are actually pretty tough. I mean, they're a lot tougher, especially a lot tougher than the Cup car. I mean, you could, especially here at Richmond, you could bounce this thing off the wall and still be fine, because here at Richmond you don't really rely on aero like you do as much at say a 1.5 or a 2 mile racetrack.
And so James Shane Wolf, again, very first race here in Speed Racing Network, but apparently he is well known around the iRacing forums and everything, but he is up there in first. Jordan Bain made the pass right off the restart to take that second position. Adrian Schumacher falls back to third.
Yeah, and I think here early, especially with these early cautions, I don't know how many we're going to have here in the early going, but I think track position is definitely going to be key. Probably won't see very many pit stops other than guys that are involved in accidents, but you don't want to, technically, like I said, track position, you don't want to go back there and possibly get yourself caught up in something that you can't control.
Well, just for everybody's information's sake, I believe the record in Speed Racing Network for cautions is 22 in one race. It would be very difficult for us to beat that here tonight. I just think we have too much talent on the track to beat that tonight.
I think you're giving these drivers a little more credit than I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I don't see us beating that tonight either. These guys are some of the best guys that we have in this league, and and I think after we have a couple cautions, and it's going to happen, we're going to have some cautions, and it's going to thin out the field a little bit without having fast repairs, and I think maybe about the second half of this race we'll see some long green flag racing.
Well, I mean, when you've got 37 cars out there on the track, on a track that is half the size of most of the tracks that we run, there's going to be some bumping and there's going to be some rubbing. And so that's going to cause those cautions, and that's short track racing, to be completely honest with you. If you are racing on a short track and you expect there to be no cautions, you've never raced on a short track before. But James Shane Wolf will get the restart once again, and again, he takes off Jordan Bain to his outside, will maintain that position, but Rhett Tucker is going to move up into that third position on the outside on Adrian Schumacher.
Yeah, and look at Rhett Tucker, and he kind of last week at Nashville.
Yellow flag.
Ooh, wow, that quick.
That did not take long at all. And I'm trying to find who that was. It may. I don't know off the top of my head here. I'm going to try to find that for us, though.
Sadly, I don't have my perched up view like I had last night, so I can't really help out.
And there are some instances here that we're not going to be able to catch. Oh, I see it. It's Devin Zimmerman, actually. So Devin Zimmerman goes sideways into the corner. We'll go back and see if he got any help.
Yeah, it looked like he might have had a little bit of help, but I couldn't really tell who it was. It might have been Tyler Markle. Oh, no, just got in a little hard into one and had to check up on the brakes really hard. And when you hit the brakes at a track like this really hard, it just sends the rear end around on you.
Yeah, he might have gotten to the back of Jose Castellanos there in a new paint scheme here tonight with some new sponsors. And yeah, it looks like he just kind of tapped the back of him and tried to hold up so he wouldn't get too far into him. But that just sent him sliding. So just kind of a single car wreck there. But definitely, it doesn't look like he's got any damage there.
I believe there's no harm, no foul there. So he'll be able to live another day. Use one of those 9 cat lives that he has, I guess, tonight to on a short track to spin, not hit anything, and not get hit by anybody is very, very lucky.
Yeah, Zimmerman, one of our most consistent drivers in the league, and so that is a rare sight to see him make a mistake like that. So, but we are under caution here for the second time in only 10 laps, so definitely a long way to go here. Hopefully they can get this thing straightened out.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said on the last caution, it's just we're gonna have these. There's so many cars out here, and you know. And you were talking about earlier, you know, guys get bumping and banging, and it leads to some hot heads sometimes, especially on a short track. So you got to manage your temper. You got to manage a lot of things here at a short track.
I mean, we saw a couple drivers last night, including the winner, but that had 0 incident points, which is fantastic on a short track to begin with. One of those drivers was Rob Rios Jr., who we were keyed in on just a few minutes ago. He's back here in 33rd place, but he kind of started off in the same realm last night and worked his way all the way through the pack to get a top 10 with 0 incident points. So that is what we're looking for here tonight.
Right. I mean, if you can keep your car clean, stay out of the chaos, you could come out of here with top 10, possibly even a top 5, just depending on how racy these guys want to be tonight.
Well, James Shane Wolf so far has led all 11 laps, and Jordan Bain right there behind him. Rhett Tucker. Sorry, I was looking at Seth Reid there. Rhett, sorry about that. But Rhett Tucker up in 3rd place. Adrian Schumacher has fallen 2 spots back to 4th, and Seth Reid started off in 4th, and he is back in 5th. So that is your top 5 right now.
Yeah, and you know, I want to give a shout out to Jordan Bain. He's having a wonderful season this season. Raced with him in the Cup Series last season, and kind of struggled a little bit. I mean, new league, growing pains, so to say. But man, this year in the Xfinity season, he's been firing on all cylinders.
Well, just a quick check-in here on our points leader. Our points leader back here in 20th place. So Greg Olenek, he decided to run a different car tonight. He decided to run his shipwreck car just in honor of Richmond and all the wrecks that happened last night in the truck series. So he is out there. He's up in 20th position. So no Moo and Brew car tonight, just the shipwreck. But here we go again. James Shane Wolf out front. Jordan Bain, again, not giving him too much of a lead there. Rhett Tucker trying to dive down to the inside, but I don't think Rhett's going to be able to get there.
No, the thing I was going to say before we had the last caution with Rhett Tucker is, you know, last week at Nashville, he kind of overran his tires early in the race, so we'll have to see if he can do a better job of that here tonight.
Well, last night we watched as Brad Herman led most of those laps. I believe he led 99 out of the 125. So this bodes very well for James Shane Wolf to be out front this early. But hey, my pick, Adam Pettit, making a move here on James's teammate in the 51. That's Matthew Robinson. Adam Pettit's going to get to the inside and looks like he's going to pull off that position.
Yeah, he'll get clear of him. Then you also, behind him, have my pick, a Ted Wreckage, also going to the inside of the 51 to see if he can get up to that 7th position.
Yeah, a couple teammates tag teaming this race here for a little bit, but looks like they will get those positions away. So Rev Racing in 2nd, 6th, and 7th right now.
Yeah, and Rev Racing, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast when we were talking, got a wreck off 4 possibly?
We do, still green right now, but Mike Lepicki definitely slow. Not really sure what's happening there, but yeah, he dropped back multiple positions there. But we are still green.
Yeah, and Walt's, you know, he runs well in the race, just doesn't tend to have good luck. Just finds himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it just seems like it bites him every week.
Okay, well, you be careful because Walt is his father, and I don't know. I didn't really like being called my father, but you called him Walt there, so yeah, careful.
My bad. My bad.
Rhett Tucker taking 2nd position away from Jordan Bain as he works his way forward. Rhett Tucker has won here in SRM before, so definitely knows his way to victory lane, and he is trying to get there once again.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a great run tonight. He's had a good car all season, just has to take care of the equipment, has to take care of his tires, and to be there at the end of this race, and with the track position he has right now, he's in prime position to do that.
Yeah, he is definitely tracking down James Shane Wolf, and this is one of those deals where you got to think, I mean, do I save some tire? What do I do here? If you're James Shane Wolf, yeah, you've got the lead, but do you want to fight this second place car that hard that you throw yourself off your own game?
Well, I mean, you also got to think, are we going to continue to have these short runs and have cautions? Are we actually going to go green, and am I going to have to, take care of my stuff, or this guy behind me might pass me?
So all sorts of questions, and we've still got 130 laps to figure out all the answers there. Going back through the pack just a little bit, let's key in on Daniel Keith here in the 23 car. He's on the outside of Devin Zimmerman in the 33, but he is trying to work his way forward. He's up 7 positions already in this race, so definitely on his way, but it's just a matter of when.
Yeah, he was running. I saw him running up in that top line, and in these cars, that top line does actually work. With the way that iRacing has changed this racetrack, they've kind of turned it into somewhat of a multi-group, as we see Rhett Tucker here going after Shane Wolf for the lead.
Yeah, Rhett Tucker definitely not afraid. He is going to go down to the inside, try to make that thing stick. Not sure he's going to get it this time around, but Shane Wolf knows that he's there now. And so Rhett Tucker going to dive it down into the inside once again, but still trying to conserve those tires, obviously.
Right, and trying to make a pass on the bottom here is really difficult, because when you're falling behind a guy, your car will actually turn pretty well, but as soon as you get under someone at these short tracks, you just lose all the front bite in the nose of that car.
Well, he is definitely working on them, but maybe he'll take those lessons from last week where he kind of burned his stuff up and just kind of lean back a little bit, just like that second position, and work on pit strategy at some point. Going back just a little ways, we got James Shane Wolf's teammate Matthew Robinson up here in 7th. He started off in 5th. He's down a couple positions, but he is fighting with Adam Pettit right here to get one of those positions back.
Yeah, and Pettit and Wreckage actually got around Robinson. We saw a couple laps ago. I guess he was just laying back, kind of saving his stuff, seeing what he's got, and now he's gone after these guys and seeing if he can get himself up in the top 5 and possibly run down his teammate.
A little bit earlier, I mistakenly said that Zach Taylor, I didn't see him out on the track. Well, there he is in the pink car, in the Dollywood car. He actually ran that last week for Nashville. It looks like he either forgot to change the paint, or maybe he's sponsored by Dollywood now. But he is up here in the top 10 where we expect him to be.
Right, and this is I didn't see where he qualified, but he's typically a good short track driver, another one of those short track drivers. So look forward to seeing him possibly in the top 5 here before the end of this race.
Well, currently he is the second fast charger, so he is up 10 spots already. So started off in 18th, all the way up into 8th right now. Right now, the hard charger of the race is Danny Dow back here in the 18th position. He's up 16 spots, so he qualified in 34th and has already made his way forward.
To be honest with you, that is no surprise to me that Danny Dow started back there. Oh, Rhett Tucker got a little loose off there, battling Shane Wolf for the lead.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Shane Wolf's going to pull away from this thing, because Jordan Bain has caught up to Rhett Tucker once again, and he's bringing a whole gaggle of people with him.
And I really think that Jordan Bain has been, taking some notes from his teammates about saving his stuff, because I think he let Rhett Tucker go there on that restart, just so he could lay back and take care of his tires and maybe take a run at these guys later on.
Well, now that everybody's kind of lined up, and again, this is such a tough track, especially for these Xfinity cars. The setup on this thing makes the track feel like ice, is what everybody has been saying to us this week. In fact, they are 2 seconds slower than the trucks were last night, and the trucks are supposed to be the slower of the two.
Right, and I actually had a chance to drive these cars last night after the truck race, and it really is like ice. You get on the brakes going off into these corners, and the rear end wants to step out on you. Then it kind of pushes a little bit in the center, but when you get back on the throttle and come up off the corner, that rear end wants to slide out again. So it's kind of just like a battle with the front and rear end of this car.
Well, now it's going to be even more of a battle, because these guys are coming up on lap traffic and they're fighting for the lead at the same time. And so this is about to get really interesting for both James Shane Wolf and Rhett Tucker.
Yeah, hopefully De Silva gives him plenty of room, which he does. He moves over. Oh, as Shane Wolf blinks there for a quick second. But I believe if Rhett can get a good enough bite, which he did, and go off here into 1, I think he'll have him clear by the exit of 2, possibly.
It's going to be awfully close. I don't think that Shane Wolf's going to let him have it. Oh, yes, he does. He got it. So Rhett Tucker to the lead. And so first lead change of the evening here tonight.
Man, see, I told you, these guys shouldn't be scared of this guy.
That is nothing against James Shane Wolf at all. A fantastic driver. We've already seen that today. So we've got a ton of fantastic drivers here in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, you just gotta, you gotta race around a guy. Sure, he might look good in official races, but it's a little bit more pressure when you get up here in these league races and race with guys that you never raced with before. But you got to race around them before you can say, hey, this guy's just gonna come out here and dominate.
Well, Rhett Tucker showing us how it's done. He got past Shane Wolf, and he has really pulled ahead here, almost 0.4 of a second there for a little while. So we'll see if he can continue to expand that lead. But Shane Wolf is now under fire from Jordan Bain as Jordan Bain goes down to the bottom side.
Shane Wolf actually got into the wall a little bit with that right rear. You see a little bit of damage there, that rear spoiler. Don't believe that's really going to hurt him, but looking like he's used that right rear up just a little bit on that 53 car.
Yeah, the aero not as important here on these short tracks, but definitely something to look at because, anytime you have that type of damage, it kind of gets into your head like, wow, what did I do wrong on that lap? And so you kind of start to overthink things, and that causes more issues. But Jordan Bain going to get a nose on him here, and he's going to pull up side by side as we head down the front stretch. Or the back stretch. I think Jordan... Wherever we are.
But I think Jordan's been, like I said, was laying back there after that green flag came out, saving his stuff, and it's showing here. I believe he's got a little bit better car than Shane Wolf does. We'll just have to see if he'll be able to clear him with Shane Wolf having a little bit of a run off the corners.
And really, that's a Rev Racing specialty, is saving your tires. In fact, that's what they were known for the past couple of seasons, where they get into practice sessions and they work exclusively on how to save tires in races exactly like this. So not an unfamiliar position here for Jordan Bain, but he's got Adrian Schumacher knocking on his door as well.
Adrian Schumacher, showing why he's been moving up the point series here lately, and just another consistent run by him, and he's looking pretty strong himself as he's going to try to join the battle with Jordan Bain and Shane Wolf.
Yeah, right behind them, you got Zachary Taylor and Seth Reid from Highline Racing. So definitely got some talent up here. I mean, these guys are just fantastic on the. I keep saying fantastic. I got to stop saying fantastic. I will find a thesaurus. I will find new words for you.
Yeah, and I've been watching Zach Taylor. He looks really, really strong through the center of these corners, and that seems to be where he's been beating everybody.
I thought I heard some damage back in the back, but we are still green, so still moving forward here. But yeah, Zach Taylor, one of the things that he was known for last season was just diving into the corners deep every single time. He puts everything he can into every single corner, just kind of, and I called it with reckless abandon. He is very. He's very meticulous on how he does it. It just looks like reckless abandon to us up here in the booth, but it's working great for him as he makes the pass on Shane Wolf as well.
And this is probably going to be a new one you hear, but I'm going to call that reckless control. Because
there you go.
It might
I like
look
that.
Reckless, but he's very much in control of his race car.
I like that. That is a good thing to call it. I don't think that was a mistake at all. As Rhett Tucker has put a second on this group, so really not really surprising to see Rhett Tucker out here, but just surprising that anybody has let him get this far out.
Yeah, and maybe he's took into his notes what happened last week with him burning up his tires, and he's actually done a pretty good job at saving them, and now it's starting to show as he's pulling away from Jordan Bain in second. But I'm looking back there in seventh. The 53, he just got passed by his teammate. He has really, really fallen off here in these past couple laps.
And this could be one of those things where he saw the race last night, saw all those cautions, figured that this was going to be a lot of short little stints, and it just didn't work out that way. And drivers, they will adjust their driving style to kind of the trends, and that was the trend last night, was just a ton of yellow. And tonight we've got a nice green flag run going. I hope I don't jinx that, but that's what we got.
Right, and I'm actually watching him now. If you look at him, we talk about a lot about especially at mile and a half, we talk about saving that right front. Well, here you want to save that right rear, because you see him coming off the corner and he's turning that car to the right, and that's the right rear tire wanting to step out on him, and I think he's used up just a little bit too much of that right rear tire. And it's just about every corner off turn 2 and off turn 4, you see him turning a little bit to the right as he's fighting some loose conditions.
Yeah, he is definitely fighting that car every single turn. But going back up front a little ways, Jordan Bain has cut into the lead of Rhett Tucker just a little bit as he's being chased by Adrian Schumacher.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier, I'm looking at that white and pink car of Zach Taylor as he inches his way ever more and more closely to the front as he's looking to get into the top 3, as he's looking, kind of gave a little look under Adrian Schumacher there, but just wasn't able to quite get there. Yeah,
this late, though, and he scrapes the wall a little bit there, so not sure he was expecting that. But again, that little bit of damage on the outside isn't really going to hurt him too badly here as he continues to track down Adrian Schumacher. But right behind him, Seth Reid, kind of content there in 5th position. A top 5 would be a great race here for Highline Racing.
Yeah, like I said, Seth Reid is another one of those guys that is just consistently running top 5s every week, and I can't quite remember where he said he was in points, but I know he's up there in the top 5 in points, and it's showing why. He's constantly having good runs and good finishes. But another guy I kind of want to point out is the 51 car right there, right behind Seth Reid, Matthew Robinson. He's been kind of just been lurking there, but we were talking about him a minute ago, battling with Pettit and Wreckage, and he's drove away from both of them, and now he's putting some pressure on Seth Reid here.
Yeah, Adam Pettit has fallen off, actually. So he was up in the top 10, flirting with the top 5, and now he is back in 11th position as he is fighting off Corey Saucier for that position. So he's going to fall down to 12th, and then he might get passed by Tristan Bailey as well.
Yeah, I don't know if this is, I don't know if he overran his stuff early in those first couple runs, or if he's just trying to take care of his stuff. Him and Saucy almost made a little bit of contact there off 4, and that'll help Tristan Bailey get up under him.
I mean, let's just be honest. Adam Pettit heard that I picked him, and he is doing this in protest.
Oh, I mean, he could be. I have no idea.
Going back up front, Rhett Tucker sees some lap traffic in front of him now, and so this might get a little bit dicey for him as Zach Taylor up here in 3rd position now as he takes a look at Jordan Bain.
Yeah, he just got around Adrian Schumacher last time through 3 and 4, and now going after Jordan Bain here this time off 3 and 4.
Man, he is just charging towards the front, up 15 positions from where he started, and putting a little bit of a bump there on Jordan Bain.
A little bit of the chrome horse saying, "Hey, buddy, I'm here. Let me get a little bit of room there so I can get by you and go after this leader."
Yeah, this early in the race, Jordan Bain's not going to like that too much.
I mean, just in that short track racing, you just have to keep, even if you get a little bump from somebody, you got to keep your head cool, because once you let it get hot, you get off your marks, you start making small mistakes, you start getting into somebody, and you could possibly end up with a torn up race car.
Yeah, short tracks are kind of Zach Taylor's bread and butter. He really does enjoy these tracks. You can see why. It really suits his driving style. Ooh, got a green flag pit stop. We got David Duke coming down into the pits.
I'm a little, well, I did some fuel calculations last night. These guys should be able to run probably about the same as the trucks, about 60 to 65 laps. I think this is a little bit much of an undercut by probably about 8-10 laps, but why not? I mean, I think he's been running somewhere around 20th the whole race, and why not come down here, get some fresh tires, and see if you can gain some track position.
Yeah, it looks like he's kind of cutting this thing to thirds, and so he'll probably pit again around lap 100 or so, and just that might bode well for him if we stay green, because he is going to get that little bit of an undercut, get that little bit of track position, as all these leaders will have to come into pit here in about 10 to 15 laps.
Right, and it's, like I said, 60 to 65 laps, so everybody is going to have to stop at least 2 times to be able to make it to the finish here of this race. Got to see when some of our top 10 decide to come down, and I think that's when we'll start seeing a lot of guys come down and get 4 tires.
Yeah, David Duke comes back out on the track in 33rd position, so he has a lot of work to do. Oh, and we've got a wreck. We've got Ryan Phillips.
Oh, Greg Olynyk,
and Greg Olynyk. And Greg said coming in that he was not very excited about the prospects of this race, and now you can see why that shipwreck car is wrecked on the outside wall there. And we will go to another wreck replay, our 3rd of the evening.
Man, and it's hard to see Greg Olynyk, having a torn up race car. He's been so consistent this season, and not very many, not being caught up in very many incidents this season so far. So, but yeah, oh wow. So Ryan Phillips just gets, in my opinion, just got flat out dumped going into turn 3, and Greg Olynyk was just an innocent bystander.
Yeah, if we head back to that here. It looks like Brian Huntley Jr. in the 63. Yeah, just gets into the back of him and just. That was pretty rough.
And I'm telling you, in a racing world, getting hooked into the outside wall is not something that makes you very happy. Getting into the left rear of somebody, we kind of look over that, but man, getting hooked from the right side of the car, it really. It makes you mad. Yeah,
and Greg Olynyk just nowhere to go, and that's going to damage the front part of his car where the engine is, and that's never a good sign as he jumps into the pits. And yeah, he's going to need to take a little while in there.
Yeah, but I knowing Greg Olynyk, he's going to stick it out. He's going to get every possible point that he can get. Not one of those guys that sees all that damage and goes, all right, let's pack it up and head home for the night. He'll be here. He's going to be a little off pace, but he's going to, like I said, he's going to get every point that he can.
And so David Duke's shot at a strategy there kind of goes out the window as he's going to fall all the way back to 28th position after pitting there a little bit early. All the leaders came into the pits, and they'll sort themselves back out. Looks like Rhett Tucker is going to be up in first, and Jordan Bain in second, and Adrian Schumacher in third. Looking at Zach Taylor. So Zach Taylor got out of the pits. He had some damage because, remember, he scraped the wall, got that damage repaired, and now he is going to be back in 13th position. He was all the way up almost in second.
Yeah, probably a good idea. I mean, we're not even halfway through this race yet. Why not come on down, fix that damage up, make sure your car is going to be running as good as it can. But I want to touch up real quick on David Duke. Pitting under green here, as short as this racetrack is, not only do you go 1 lap down, you go 2 laps down from taking a green flag pit stop. So, he's going to get the wave around here, but he's still going to be stuck a lap down. Actually, he's actually going to be on the lead lap. The caution must have came out while he was still on pit road, which probably actually saved him there.
So he will stay on the lead lap, but his tires will be about 5 laps older than everyone else's in front of him. So not a good position for David Duke to be in. We'll see how that sorts itself out. It looks like we're going to get the 1 to green here as Rhett Tucker is going to be, it looks like he's going to choose the inside lane. Jordan Bain on the outside. Adrian Schumacher in third. Seth Reid in fourth. Matthew Robinson fifth. Michael Larch in sixth. So there's your top 6.
Yeah, then finishing out, you got Ted Record 7th, Corey Saucier in 8th, and I'm not really sure of his first name, but you got Rosa in the 66 in 10th.
Yeah, Nathan De La Rosa from Jonathan Byer Racing. So again, that team has kind of been on a tear down in the Truck Series, and Nathan trying to get their Xfinity Series up on the mark here.
Yes, the pace car will pull off, and we'll see Rhett Tucker get a good restart there on Jordan Bain. He's going to have him clear before they get off here into turn 1.
Yeah, Rhett on fresh tires. It is tough to beat Rhett Tucker on fresh tires, I'll tell you that.
Right, but again, he's not following anybody this time. He was behind the 53 on that last restart and was able to kind of pace himself. But when you're the leader, you don't have anybody to pace off of, so you just have to, be patient with yourself and manage your stuff. As we got a spin off turn 4, I don't know who that was.
That's Jack Hedgecox, I believe. And there he is in the grass. And so that will bring out another caution, our 4th caution of the evening.
Yeah, it looked like I think they were possibly three wide again coming off turn 4, and I believe they got into each other and got into Hedgecox there and turned him off 4.
Yeah, anytime you get this entire group bunched back up together, there's bound to be. That's just Hedgecox overturning it.
That's fresh tires for you. Cold tires at this racetrack, and getting on the throttle just a touch too early. With the way the banking works here and how it kind of just, it's not like Dover where you have the elevation change. It's kind of like New Hampshire where it just flattens out a little bit, and it just causes the left rear to kind of plant and the right rear to come up, and it just causes you to spin out.
Yep, just a little bit early on the gas probably, and you can see that back end just kind of steps out, and there's no fixing it from there.
I mean, the only thing you can do is what he did, lock it down and hope you don't hit anything.
As we jump back to the live view here, got Rhett Tucker still leading this thing.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at 9th place here, Corey Saucier. I don't quite remember where he started. I believe he started outside the top 15, if you can help me out with that.
He started in 11th. So
11th,
he's up a couple spots. And again, this is Corey was one of our best drivers in the Truck Series last season with a couple wins. He was battling Michael Madden and Cole Martin basically for the entire season. Nathan Nixon was up in that battle as well for a lot of those races. So definitely has some talent, and he decided to step up to the Xfinity Series and just hasn't had the breaks this season, but up here in a top 10 already, trying to look for some more.
Yeah, and like I said in the pre-race show, just going through a little bit of growing pains, so to say, with driving the Xfinity car this season. But here the past couple weeks, he's had some good finishes, and it looks like he's trying to go for another one tonight.
Well, I mean, you're a much better driver than I am, Landon, but correct me if I'm wrong. The Xfinity cars are typically considered one of the hardest to drive. Like, they don't drive themselves as much as the truck or the Cup cars do. Is that correct?
That is correct. In iRacing, we like to call this car a driver's car, because you literally, it's not like the Cup car where you have, a lot of horsepower and a lot of downforce, or the trucks where you don't have quite as much horsepower, but you have a lot of downforce. This car is right in the middle. It has a good bit of horsepower, but you have no downforce. So you have to drive this car more. You actually have to drive this thing a little bit more aggressively than you would approach the Cup and the Truck Series.
And is that why a lot of these drivers are having so much trouble out here, why they're calling it kind of an ice skating rink?
Right. You don't have as big of a front splitter on these cars as you have on the Cup cars, and you also don't have as big of a rear spoiler as you have on the Truck Series. Now on Sunday night, you'll see the Cup Series cars have actually a little bit of a smaller spoiler than these Xfinity Series cars, but they have that bigger front splitter which helps with a little bit downforce to actually make them handle a little bit better.
So taking that jump from both, actually from Truck Series up into Xfinity, or making that move from Xfinity to Cup, it's not an easy move by any stretch. I mean, it's completely different driving.
Right. It's basically, take for like Corey Saucier, who ran very well in the Truck Series. It's basically take what you learned in the Truck Series last year, take your whole playbook and put it in a shredder, because it's not going to help you at all with these Xfinity Series cars.
Well, and that's why we consider some of the best drivers to be here in the Xfinity Series, because you really have to wheel those cars. And the one wheeling them right now, Rhett Tucker, is going to take off Jordan Bain on his outside. Seth Reid up in the 3rd position on the inside. We're going to see what kind of sorts itself out from that.
Yeah, Seth Reid got a good run there off, too. He's going to pull up even with Jordan Bain, as Bain's going to get a slight run, and actually had a lot better run down the back than I thought he would as he clears him going into 3.
And Adrian Schumacher there on the outside, he is going to get a good run, and it looks like he is going to take that 3rd position away from Seth Reid. But don't look now. We got Austin Moore off the track, I believe. Yep, and he's going to get back on there, still green.
A lot of front end damage on that 3 car, though, so he's definitely going to possibly need to come down and get some repairs. As I'm looking at my pick right now, Ted Reck is trying to battle his way up. He restarted 9th. He's up to 7th, and looking to gain another one on the 52 car.
Yeah, but he is surrounded by JW Racing right now. He's got Matthew Robinson up in front of him. He's got Michael Larch on his outside. He's got James Shanewolf behind him. He has got nothing but JW everywhere, and now we do have a yellow flag. I believe it's last week's winner, Tristan Bailey.
Oh, man. Oh, he's got a little bit of front end damage. Yeah, he's got some splitter damage as well, so he's definitely going to have to come down and get that fixed.
So that will put us under our 5th caution. We had a great long green flag run there. Not sure if we're going to get another one or not, but let's take a look at our rec replay to find out what happened to Tristan Bailey.
And as we say, Sean, cautions breed cautions, especially here at these short tracks. You just, got to be at the right place, the right time, and sadly Tristan Bailey was not. As we see, the 50 gets a little bit, kind of what we saw with Jack Hedgecock's that last caution, got a little bit of loose off turn 2, and sadly Tristan Bailey was there to catch him.
Yep, that's all it was. Just got that back end around, and as he started spinning, instead of having nothing up underneath him, he had last week's winner. Yeah,
and after winning a race in 1 week and then wrecking out the next week, it kind of you come into the race the week after you win with so much confidence, and then you have this happen, and it kind of kills all that. But like we said, a lot of guys are going to use this possibly as their drop week, and looks like one of them might be Tristan Bailey.
Yeah, but he's had a lot of other good weeks too. So he is right there 2 points below the cut line. So yeah, he's going to use this drop week to his advantage and hopefully stay up in that playoff chase.
Yeah, I'm actually, when did do you happen to know when the leaders came down pit road last? As we see Jordan
59.
Bain on pit road. So,
yeah, they came down on 59. I'm not really sure why Jordan Bain is coming down pit road right now. Unless he's going to try to stretch something?
I mean, possibly we have, no, we have 75 to go. I just don't see you being able to pull out, like I said, fuel 60 to 65 laps, and 65 is stretching it. So I don't believe you're going to be able to stretch it another 10. So even with cautions, I just don't see that happening.
I mean, I did not see him take any damage at all. I could be completely off base there, but his pit stop was 16 seconds, so it's only 1 second longer than a normal pit. Not really sure what's going on there.
Maybe like you said, just trying to play a little bit of strategy, catch some cautions. You could possibly stretch it, but I just think we're gonna have some more cautions here, and these guys, Rhett Tucker, Adrian Schumacher, Seth Reid, these guys are going to have to pit again. And, Jordan Bain running out here on older tires after these guys pit, they're just going to eat him up. I don't understand that strategy right there.
Okay, I'll tell you this. I literally just got a Discord message from Zachary Taylor. I don't know how he's typing and driving at the same time. Apparently he's just that good. But it says, watch out. This thing is dangerous fast, and I'm feeling fast. Last time I felt like this, I won here.
I don't believe that this is the first time that I've heard Zachary Taylor commenting on the broadcast while in the race car. I don't we have some sort of rule where you can't be on your phone in the car? No, I don't think.
I mean,
I'm just kidding, but
texting and driving, I don't know. Apparently, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, we do not promote that, by the way.
No.
But yeah, he showed us earlier that he got up in the top 3 and was looking possibly to be one of the fastest cars on the track. So, but has a little bit of track position to make up to get back up there. So we'll be keeping an eye on him for sure.
Well, he did that a little bit earlier and got all the way up into about 3rd place before those pit stops happened. But Rhett Tucker gets a nice little jump on this restart as Adrian Schumacher on the outside trying to make up just a little bit of time there. Seth Reid down on the bottom. It's technically in 2nd right now. Let's see if he can hold that position.
Yeah, and these guys almost came off 3 wide as 2 JW Racing cars almost put Ted Wreckage in a JW sandwich coming off 2, but they got that straightened up and are going to, looks like, live to fight another day as Seth Reid goes after Adrian Schumacher again. Yeah,
it looks like JW Racing had 3 in a row there on the bottom side, so definitely kind of tag teaming this entire field right now as Matthew Robinson kind of leads the way for that team.
And Ted Wreckage actually making that outside line work pretty well. He got around the 52. Now he goes after the 51 on that outside line. So Ted's found him a little something up there in that 2nd groove.
Yeah, but everybody trying to chase down Seth Reid, and it looks like Matthew Robinson's going to get there on the bottom side.
Yeah, Matthew Robinson, all these JW cars, as they're in a line right there on that inside line. Oh, never mind. As Ted Wreckage jumps down in front of the 52. It looks like Seth Reid's not as good on that outside line as we're seeing Ted, and Ted noticed that and decided to drop down to the bottom. But these guys are getting really racy here this run.
Yeah, Michael Larch didn't like the fact that Ted Wreckage got him. Oh wow, James Shane Wolf gets way out. That's Michael Larch. Sorry, that's Michael Larch that got way out on that one, but gets it back under control. Everybody's still safe. We're still going.
And looks like Zachary Taylor's going to take him 3 wide here going into 1.
Oh, boy.
As Nathan De La Rosa on the outside, and the 52 just gives way.
And really, that is a smart move by Michael Larch just to back out of that thing. You do not want to be 3 wide here, but Zach Taylor took full advantage of that as he continues his march back towards the front.
And Nathan De La Rosa had a good run there off turn 2, being way up in that outside line and actually stayed with Zach Taylor, who was all the way at the bottom.
Zach is going to get that position away from Nathan De La Rosa, and he is up in 7th now, so definitely charging forward. But up front, Matthew Robinson in 3rd. He is being pressured right now by Seth Reid.
We thought the 53 of Shane Wolf was going to be the strongest JW Racing car, but right now that 51 of Matthew Robinson saying otherwise. He says, hey, I'm going to get up here and be the dominant car for JW Racing tonight.
And everybody's starting to line out, except Brandon Domain kind of steps out a little bit there. Sorry, Brandon. Sorry about the driver's, the broadcaster's curse. That's my fault.
I don't believe you cursed him yet. That car looks pretty clean compared to some of the other cars out there. But Brandon just having a nice, consistent run. Like I said, keeping his car clean and just, with the luck he's had lately, just wanting to be there at the end of the race so he can have a good finish.
Somebody else, again, going back to Zach Taylor, up in 6th now. So he restarted this thing. I believe he was in 12th on the restart. And he has already jumped all the way up into 6th position. So, man, he is flying out there. He said it's freaky fast, and it's looking that way too. But he's still got a few more cars to pass before he gets up here with Adrian Schumacher and Rhett Tucker.
Yeah, and there was one thing I was just looking at, and just want to see if you could jump back to Jordan Bain real quick in the 28. I want to show you another thing.
There he is.
another thing as to why pitting there was. Look at all the cars that he's around. I mean, anybody around here could possibly step out, get into somebody. Kind of like what we saw with Greg Olenek, just get caught up in somebody else's mess as an innocent bystander, and it takes a top 5 car and just ruins your night.
Well, and hey, if he gets back up into that top 3, then we'll interview him and we'll ask him why he did that and why it was so successful. But we'll have to wait on that interview until the end of this race.
See Tristan Bailey actually, going around Jordan Bain there. He was our last caution. Oh, wreck right in front of him. I believe someone saw some smoke from somebody.
Yeah, everybody's still moving forward though.
So
still green flag.
But yeah, Tristan Bailey, that last caution there, actually still looking pretty strong with that front end damage that he has.
Going back up front again, Rhett Tucker gets out to that 1 second lead, and this is kind of the point where he started to fall back a little bit once he hit that 1 second mark. So we'll see if that same thing happens again, as Adrian Schumacher still trying to track him down. Everybody else basically in the top 15 or so has kind of lined out a little bit. So we'll see a little bit of racing as we get back towards the bottom 20.
Yeah, you were talking about our biggest mover earlier, and he just cracked the top 10. Danny Dow in that 21 car having a great run tonight and setting his sights on Nathan De La Rosa for 9th.
Well, I got to tell you, back in Mid-South Madness Season 1, we said that he was the champion. He won that championship race at Bristol, so the championship leader going into that race got to choose the track, and they chose Bristol, and Danny Dow ended up winning there. So he is very accustomed to these short tracks. He knows how to do it. So don't look past him at all towards the end of this race, as long as he can keep that car clean.
Yeah, something else I didn't know racing with Danny Dow last season is, it probably actually helps him out here, but that Danny Dow is a good dirt track driver. I mean, and I thought I was a good dirt track driver, and he makes me look like I'm a like I don't even race dirt tracks, but I believe that's something here with this slick racetrack that's actually helping him out tonight.
Yeah, he and his son Troy both race dirt, and so they know how to wheel it around. And Troy Dow was one of our great drivers a couple seasons ago, and just had to bow out just due to timing issues. But man, I remember they were going back and forth to figure out who the best Dow was on the track.
Looking back there at probably one of my favorite paints, and that's Vincent Cortez, who you just went to. Good timing there, Sean.
Thank you.
You already read my mind. But Vincent Cortez has been running a little bit farther back than what I was expecting him to be tonight. Normally at short tracks like Dover, he ran very, very well at Dover, and I was expecting him to have a good run tonight. But I see his car every week, and it's always one of my favorite paint schemes out there on the racetrack.
You know, we are going to look really, really silly here shortly, because Jordan Bain is on the move. He's up in 17th position now, so he is working his way forward after that pit stop that we were just kind of confused about, but it seems to be working for him. He's got those new tires, and he's putting some people down.
Yeah, and I'm looking right there in front of him, looking at David Duke. A couple cautions ago, he got trapped a lap down and had to take the wave around after pitting under green, and he's making a good run back as he's battling Castellanos there for 15th.
Yeah, just kind of funny how these cautions work out, because he had pitted on lap 54, and then the wreck happened around lap 59. All the leaders came in. He stayed out, obviously, to get that lap back. Well, on this last caution, none of the leaders came in. He did, so now he's got the freshest tires out there, and so he's working his way forward. So it's adapting, man. You just got to adapt out there, and you got to figure out what the best way to do it is on the fly.
Yeah, Sean, and you were asking a minute ago, if we were going to get back to a green flag run, and here we are. And Rhett Tucker still has that 1 second lead, but it has been dropping a little bit as Adrian Schumacher is running him down a little bit. But I believe the strongest car on the racetrack right now is that 51 of Matthew Robinson, right there behind Adrian Schumacher. Just looks like he's getting into the corner a little better. Adrian looks a little bit loose through the center and on the exit, but that 51 car looking like it's on rails.
Yeah, he looks really silky smooth going into these corners. So, and that's tough to do here. I mean, we saw the hands just flying everywhere on a lot of those cars, and on cue he kind of got loose there. But if you look at his car on the inside, you'll see here he is not nearly moving his hands as much as anybody else on the track. He's doing really, really well with his car.
I remember earlier we were watching his teammate in the 53 is turning right off the corners, and you don't really see that out of Matthew Robinson right now. But don't want to point this out, but he was telling us in the comments section about how good his race car was. Zach Taylor just got past Seth Reid to put himself up into 4th, and he's trying to run down Schumacher and Robinson.
Man, he was not kidding. This thing is just crazy fast. he is on the move. And we'll check here really shortly to see exactly how fast that car is if you put it side by side with the leader. And right now it looks like he's still slower than the leader, but he is definitely putting the rest of these cars down a little bit.
And it looks like, I think when he was battling Reid there, he's about a tenth and a half off the pace. And now he's got by him. He's running about the same lap times. We'll see what he runs this time.
Oh, a little bit faster.
A little bit faster, but about running the same lap times. But hey, 2 100ths a lap, that adds up eventually, and there's still plenty of time for him to get up there to Rhett Tucker.
Yeah, I mean, especially if there's another caution that comes out and all these guys come down pit road at the same time, it'll be interesting to see what he can do on fresh tires if he can dive that car in the way that he's used to.
Yeah, and he's looking a little bit loose off turn 4 there, so needs to take care of that right rear just a little bit more.
Back up front, let's check in on our leader, Rhett Tucker. And you can see he actually just, it looks like he just put Derek Da Silva another lap down. And right now he's got Austin Moore in his sights to try to put him a lap down as well. He's just trying to get cars between him and Adrian Schumacher here.
And I see Greg Olenek up there in front of him as well. It's just right now catching these lap cars, you just got to make sure you don't catch them in a bad spot, especially here at short tracks. It can really, really hurt you. And, you get caught up behind a lap car here, and Adrian Schumacher is going to be right on your rear bumper.
Yeah, 1 second on a short track is not nearly as much as people think it is. But, I mean, we'll have to go back. I'm going to go back here a little ways. We got a little bit of a cluster back here forming as we got Joshua Marcy, Tristan Bailey, Aaron Gerwitz, a few others. So all sorts of carnage back here, just kind of all ganging up. Brandon Domain goes off the track.
Oh, no.
But he gets back on there. He's still moving forward, but he's going to lose some spots.
Yeah, it's doesn't look like he had much damage, but definitely not what Brandon Domain was looking for, as he lost a lot of track position there going through the grass.
So Rhett's got a couple of lap cars here that were side by side there briefly, so this might be one of those things that kind of slows Rhett down a little bit, because I'm not sure he can pass 2 cars in the same corner.
Oh, and Ryan Phillips actually looked like he was going to go to the bottom, then decided to go back up behind Greg Olenek and give the leader some space. But yeah, not a good corner there for Rhett Tucker, catching those lap cars on the entries. You see that delta on the left side come down just a little bit, but hey, Adrian Schumacher's got to deal with the same thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. And again, still looking back there in fourth for Zach Taylor, and he has not cut down that lead at all. So Matthew Robinson still looking good out there as well. So really got some great driving going on, but I believe everybody's going to have to pit at least one more time.
Yeah, they're going to have to pit one more time. But hey, look who's up there in ninth. Wasn't too long ago we saw him spun out there off of turn 4 and in the grass, and he's up here in the top 10.
I think he's been involved in 2 wrecks tonight, and he's still up there in the top 10. So he started off in 32nd, and now he's up in 9th. So just fantastic recovery. Holy goodness.
Then you look about 3 cars back, and you got Jordan Bain going after Corey Saucier for 11th, and those fresh tires. But as you see, a little bit of front end damage on that 28 car. And I'm actually wondering if he got into the back of Corey Saucier. As you see, the back of the 19 car dented in, with the front end of Jordan Bain's car being damaged. I don't know if...
Yeah, that could be something there, but still, man, a run up through 12th, and I believe he restarted this thing, back in 24th, 25th, something like that.
Yeah, definitely those tires working out for him, but he's kind of looks like he's stalling out just a little bit, and that's another thing too, is you start in the back of the field and you have to run those tires harder than what you have been. Is man, Jack Hedgecox just keeps going forward as he's going under James Shanewolf for 8th.
Yeah, these two have the same tires, so I mean they both pitted on the same lap. And Hedgecox gets a little close to him.
And he overdrove the entry, and Shane Wolf's just like, thank you, I'll take the... Oh, is he... Never mind. And he gets loose off the 2.
Yeah, Shane Wolf checked up on that one, I believe.
Yeah, he tried pulling the crossover there on Hedgecox and just got a little tight and then got loose trying to stay off of him.
And again, it's that type of decision that you check up instead of forcing the issue. That's what makes great drivers. Don't force that issue right now. You've got plenty of time still. You got still another 35 laps to make that pass at some point. But if you don't make that pass, if you don't survive that move, then it doesn't matter how good you are.
Right. Me and you were talking earlier before the broadcasting. We were talking about respect, and Hedgecock's got around him cleanly, didn't get into him, and Shane Wolf knew that and respectfully, got under him and got tight and just wanted to make sure they didn't get into him coming off of 2 there.
Yeah, I mean it's smart driving. You gotta finish the race. Up front, Rhett Tucker, man, he wants this race to finish right now. He's up in first, and he is still about that 1 second mark, so hasn't really extended that lead, but nobody's really gone up to challenge him either.
Yeah, still a couple lap cars up there. I believe that was Tyler Markle that I saw is the next one. He's going to put a lap down, but definitely not in his way at the moment. He's actually pulling away a little bit from Jordan Bain since the last time we checked in.
Yeah, going back and our scores kind of having a little bit of fun with us right now. You can see it kind of jumping all around all over the place. It looks like there's some cars that are blinking out that are causing a little bit of havoc back here. That or they're just passing each other. They're just going back and forth.
And we see Devin Zimmerman as well, another one of those guys that was, spun and brought out a caution earlier, trying to make his way back up as he's trying to get up there to the inside of Vincent Cortez for 14th, but a good comeback for him as well.
Yeah, a couple teammates are definitely communicating the entire time. Right behind them, Mike Lepicki as well. So 3 tank work drivers right there in a row, but going back up front, one of their teammates up in second. So Adrian Schumacher really having a great drive here tonight, but that's kind of been his MO this season.
Yeah, I mean, just, I was really surprised when he got his win at the Roval. I'd never really heard of Adrian Schumacher until that, and then I was actually lucky enough to talk to him a couple weeks ago. Super nice guy, very respectful, and just the way he drives, he's another one of those drivers that's just so smooth. And
Zimmerman
takes care of his stuff. Oh man. Well, broadcaster's curse on me.
There it is.
I was just talking about him.
So Zimmerman turned sideways, and that will bring out a caution. And so we'll have to go back and find out exactly what happened to him as he gets that thing back going again. But you can see some damage there. So something must have happened.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and claim that one, Devin. I'm so sorry. Broadcaster's curse on my side for this week.
Well, I got to tell you, there is a lot of blinking issues going on here. And so we will catch very briefly that he is right on the bumper. Yeah. And I believe, I want to say that was...
Looked like Adam Pettit.
I thought it was Danny Dow, but I could be wrong. I mean, so...
Both of those cars look a lot alike between Danny Dow and Adam Pettit, so I'm not sure which one of them it was.
Yeah, not really a lot of information here because, again, there was a lot of blinking going on. So you can see how it just kind of blinks out. But you're correct. That was Adam Pettit, actually, I believe, so in that car. So not really sure exactly what happened there. We apologize. We don't have that replay, but a lot of these blinking issues happen. But
I'll tell you one
the
thing.
Drivers on pit road.
I was about to say, I'll tell you one thing for sure. These drivers after that run are going to be coming down and getting 4 tires and full of fuel, and they can make it to the end from here. So we're going to have about a 25, well, by the time we go back caution or back green, it'll be about a 22, 23 lap run to the finish here.
And we will see who gets out of that pit road first. And it looks like it'll be Rhett Tucker back up in first, Adrian Schumacher second, Matthew Robinson third, Zach Taylor in fourth. So we're going to get to see what Zach Taylor can do on fresh tires in that car that he calls dangerous fast.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He kind of fell off there at the end of that run before the caution came out. He was 2.5 seconds at one point, and I believe before that caution came out, he was actually 4.5 seconds. But Sean, real quick, I want to touch up on something. And we kind of didn't really talk about this before the race, so I'm sorry to kind of throw this at you. But one of our Truck Series drivers, Lucas Lyons, went out this week and asked some guys to run a decal on their cars. And I don't know if you can find one.
I'm trying to.
There's one right there on the side of Adam Pettit's car.
Yeah, you can see the wings there.
Yeah, for one of his friends that used to come to the racetrack. I believe his name was Brandon Clarity.
Christopher Clary.
Christopher Clary. I'm sorry. But back in 2011, he kind of took his life. But used to come to Richmond Raceway a lot, and actually lived not a couple miles away from the racetrack. And Lucas wanted to honor him this weekend at Richmond. And for me, myself as well, those wings will be on the hood of my car for Sunday's race.
Yeah, we had about 15 drivers last night in the truck series that did that. And here in the Xfinity series, I know there are some. I don't know how many, but it has been amazing the camaraderie here between all these drivers to jump on board and to really honor somebody that was a friend to Lucas Lyons and obviously a friend of the racing community as well, as he lived right outside of Richmond Raceway and worked there as well. So definitely he enjoyed anything racing related, and he was always up to go to the track for a good race, and definitely a sad story there. But from our end of it, definitely you never know what people are going through, so always be respectful of what those people have going on in their lives, and do everything that you can to help your fellow man out, because you just never know. And so it's sad to lose anybody because of that, but we definitely honor him today.
And just like in NASCAR here in SRN, we're one big family. So when someone loses a good friend or a family member, we all love to jump in and show our support, because we're all one big family here.
Well, and it's tough to go from that back to racing, but that is exactly what Christopher Clary would want us to do, is get back to racing. And Rhett Tucker gets us back on that green flag, and Adrian Schumacher is going to get that second position. Matthew Robinson in line for third, but I hear some wrecking going on back here, and Mike Lepicki is backwards. And
Stan Hausman, and I believe Austin
Brandon
Gerwitz
Domain
was
involved
part of that.
as well. Yeah, I believe Brandon Domain was involved also. He's popping up on my screen. So we will go to another Beer Street Journal Rec replay, and as always, remember to drink responsibly. And it looks like it happened right in front of Mike Lepicki. He was just kind of an innocent bystander, and it may have been Jordan Bain. Oh, yeah, we got a little bit of action there. I believe that's the 66 of Nathan De La Rosa and Jordan Bain kind of getting into it, and then it just kind of accordions from there.
Did Jordan Bain run out of gas? He just pulled off the car. Did he miss? He either missed a gear or ran out of gas. I don't know.
He couldn't have ran out of gas. He put it on lap 123, so there's no way he ran out of gas there. So let's go inside the cockpit. Maybe we can.
I'm
that is just really weird. Not really sure what happened there with Jordan Bain, but
it was definitely off the pace. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, he just couldn't get that thing going. And so Adam Pettit gets into him as well. So one of his teammates, it looked like Aaron Gerwitz got involved in that. So basically 3 of Rev Racing was involved in that wreck, as well as Mike Lepicki from Tank Racing, who is severely damaged.
Yeah, and that's, not only, is Rev Racing, that's their 4th car tonight to have issues, as we saw Greg Olenek earlier have a lot of front end damage, but that's both teams in the top 2 in team standing. So, it's going to be a good night for some of those other teams a little bit lower in team points to gain some ground on these guys.
Yeah, you got third place. You got R&D Motorsports, and they're not really having a fantastic evening either. So, I mean, really, this is wide open here tonight. And the only team that seems to be stepping through is the brand new team of JW Racing, who's got 3 drivers in the top 10.
And they got Matthew Robinson in 3rd. They got the 52 in 6th, and Shane Wolf right there in the top 10.
Yeah, and just kind of to hit back on that one more time. So JW Racing started this week. I mean, so they declared for the league last week, and so they got in under that kind of trade deadline that we had, and so they're starting off with 0 points. There are 10 technically there are 10 teams in this league, and so the top 8 are going to make it into the playoffs. So JW Racing has a little bit of work to do just to get to that 8th position, but then the question is, if they can get there, what are they going to have for the playoffs once we get to week 14?
Well, all I'm going to say is whoever is number 1, better hope that JW Racing does not get into the top 8, because most likely if they do make it, they're barely going to make it and be that 8th seed, and as well as they're running tonight, I would not want to go up against them. Yeah,
I mean, and again, this is one race. This is the first race that we've seen them in, but they're doing a pretty good job, and it looks like they've got their stuff kind of together here. One guy that doesn't even have a team, Rhett Tucker, back there. So he's just kind of a single car out there on the track, but we've seen Rhett do this before. He doesn't need a team. he knows how to get this thing done.
Oh, and yeah, for sure. He been running up front basically all race long. Definitely going to wrap up most laps led tonight, but we'll have to see if he can hold on to it here for these last 17 laps.
Out in the YouTube chat, Travis Trevelyan, who is the Stryker Motorsports team owner, is very, very angry at me for saying the words Brandon Domain because Brandon's been involved in a couple of incidents there. So I apologize, Travis. Travis is a good friend of mine. He's the one that kind of took over Stryker Motorsports after I decided to leave that team and come directly into the broadcast booth. So doing a great job with Stryker Motorsports, and I did not mean to curse your team, buddy.
Yes, we went back green there. Zachary Taylor just had a good runoff too, and
he got into Schumacher. Yeah, this is going to be a mess. Gonna be big. This is going to be huge. We are going to have a parking lot. I mean, oh yeah.
Yeah. Remember we were talking about earlier with Zachary Taylor about reckless control? Well, there was your reckless abandonment.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he got a little bit too far into that corner, I believe. Okay, he got a lot too far in that corner. This is going to take out a lot of our leaders here.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of what we saw in our very first caution with, I believe it was the 5 of De Silva. Just had a bad angle wow, so you see a lot of cars piling in here. But just had a bad angle going into the corner and just not a lot of brakes.
Yeah, you're going to see all the carnage here. Yeah, you'll see right before the incident happened that Zach was slamming on the brake, which just means he just didn't give himself enough time. But you will see all the carnage, just everyone, including Brandon Domain once again. So, again, Travis, I'm very, very sorry for that. But that is going to change things completely and totally in this race.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go back and watch that one more time, but we actually had 2 completely different incidents. We had Zachary Taylor getting into Adrian Schumacher, and then I believe we had the 51 getting in the back of Seth Reid at the exact same time.
Oh, no, Seth Reid getting into the 51, actually. So let me go back and we will double check that one more time here.
I thought I saw him get, maybe it was the 52 that got in the back of him, but I thought he got turned before he got there to the 51.
Oh, yeah, it's the 52 that bumped.
Yeah, so 52. Exact same time that Taylor got into Schumacher, the 52 got into Seth Reid there. So I believe we're going to have a wreck there either way.
One more time, and I want to show you this view. Take a look at Jack Hedgecox, who, again, has been in a couple of wrecks tonight. Watch him sneak through this thing. And Jack is going to be listed up in the top 5 after this.
Wow. Actually, might even come out. He's either going to come out 2nd or 3rd after that, and that's it. Wow. After seeing him go through the grass earlier and, with some of that damage, and thought he would be actually going to come out 4th. Thought he was going to be a little bit hindered to get back up front. He's made a good run all the way back up to 4th.
Well, one driver out there in the YouTube chat, Rob Yost Jr., who started off this race in the 37th and final position, he said, "We are putting it on the trailer. We are taking it home right now." So he is dropping out in 36th position.
Yeah, and I feel like there's going to be a couple more guys after that one that decide to load it up on the hauler and head to the house. As we kind of had the This is a short track, but we kind of just had a Daytona big one at Richmond.
Yeah, 13 laps to go. This is going to be tough for anybody to get back into this race. But Rhett Tucker up there in first. Matthew Robinson, who, like you said, has kind of been on rails, but he's got some damage from that wreck. You can see a lot of damage from that incident where he got into, I believe he got into Zach Taylor on that thing as Zach was spinning. But you got Seth Reid, who looks relatively clean, and then Jack Hedgecox, who is just coming out of nowhere here.
Yeah, then you got the 53 of Shane Wolf there. James, I want to start saying his first name because I cannot figure.
You're saying it right. It's just a new name.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah, it's just secondly too. Like I said earlier, I don't have my iRacing tonight. I'm a little bit what we would call a broadcast crippled, so to say. So I don't have all this information in front of me. But Ted Wreckage in 6th, Vincent Cortez in 7th, Corey Saucier 9th, Corey Saucier 8th, Castellanos 9th, and Nathan De La Rosa rounding out your top 10.
Rhett Tucker is going to get the restart, and he is going to take off quickly. Matthew Robinson going to be on that outside as Seth Reid is going to take that second position away. And so now Seth is going to get the task of trying to track down Rhett Tucker, but Matthew Robinson still not done with that fight yet.
Yeah, lucky for Seth Reid, that caution coming out before he got turned, he was able to get all of his track position back. So we'll see if he'll be able to take advantage of that as he battles. Matthew Robinson gets into the wall there off turn 4.
Yeah, now Matthew's teammate James Shane Wolf back there in 4th. And he's got Hedgecox there trapped on the outside.
Robinson
overdrives it, and he's going to fall back to 5th position, letting his teammate and Jack Hedgecox work their way up into the top 4.
That was a good save on Matthew Robinson's part. That's about as sideways as you can get without ending up in that inside wall there off turn 2.
Now Hedgecox on that outside. This is the same Red Striker Motorsports car that Travis Trevelyan ran when he first ran in Striker Motorsports. So that same red paint scheme, just a different number there. But he is on his way, so Travis is smiling somewhere for sure.
These guys are racing their hearts out right now. You see just about every single one of them stepping out, coming on off corner exit. So these guys are running 110% right now.
Yeah, they want every single millisecond they can possibly get because
awesome.
I believe. See, now that was not my fault. I didn't say his name. That was not my fault. I'm not taking the blame for that one.
Brandon Domain, once again, I believe we got another one involved. I don't know who it is, but saw some smoke from somebody there going in.
Maybe Wayne Rayburn, and I think Zach Taylor might be involved again on this one. Just trying to get those positions back, it looks like. As we go to another Beer Street Journal Rec replay, and as always, please drink responsibly. And
yeah, kind of in a 3-wide situation again. They're off turn 2, and just everybody just closed in on each other, and it looked like Danny Dow got into the 20. Brandon checked up, and Danny didn't really have anywhere to go, and then Brandon caught Zachary Taylor there on the way down. So Zachary Taylor's night just goes from bad to worse.
Yep, and that's definitely going to put Brandon Domain out basically, and then Zach Taylor again probably going to be done for the evening, or at least done with being in contention, because by the time we get down to this restart, I believe we'll probably have 4 to go. And so it's not a green-white checker, but I think we're going to be pretty dang close, and these guys can just keep it clean for a couple laps. Rhett Tucker might have a win on his hands here.
Yeah, I do believe we're possibly let's see.
I think we'll get to 3 to go, but that will not be an official green-white checker.
You're right. I think you're right. I was going to say I think we are going to have a green-white checker, but it's not going to be official. But I forgot with us looking at the replays, they probably already ran a lap or 2 under caution, so it'll probably be about 3 laps to go when they go back green.
Yeah, just kind of double checking everything here. But yeah, we're coming up on 4 to go. And then I believe we'll get the lights off on the pace car. And we'll stack them up 2 wide and try to make it to the finish.
Yeah, you know, one guy we were talking about earlier, I'm looking back.
Oh, they're not out.
Oh, wow. So we are going to have a green-white checker, just not official. I'm looking back at 7th place right now at Vincent Cortez. You know, we were talking about him earlier, and he was running around the top 15. But after that big wreck that we saw, and it looks like he might have caught a little piece of it. But you know, just being out there and trying to keep his car clean, looks like he could possibly come out with a top 10, possibly a top 5 finish.
Yeah, we got Bat Boss 2 out there in the YouTube chat saying, somebody get the flag man a Gatorade. And that is the absolute truth right now.
Well, I'll tell you, he don't need his Gatorade as much as the flagman needed last night, as this is only our 9th caution of the night after having 15 in the truck race last night.
Last night, the pace car actually came in for a pit stop because of all the laps that it drove. So tonight has been much cleaner. Only 9 cautions and still more laps. So definitely a cleaner race. Short tracks, you're always going to have some cautions. You're always going to have some damage. Just kind of a worse night for some than others.
Yeah, I believe last night when I was looking at the point standings, I think I saw the pace car at the bottom of the point standings, so I believe it got a bonus point for most laps led. But we'll have to double check on that for you.
That's excellent. That's a good one. All right, I like that. All right, Red Tucker, gonna get us restarted here. Let's see if we can get a finish out of this thing. It's Saucier.
Yeah, got a little loose there.
And he's going to be trapped 3 wide down at the bottom.
That's going to stack the back of this field up big time.
That's going to get hairy.
We'll see if they can make it to the white flag, though, as Rhett Tucker goes off into turn 3. Seth Reid trying to make a run at him.
And here we come to the white flag. Rhett Tucker takes it. So last lap right here. And Rhett Tucker, I'm not sure anybody's going to catch him. Seth Reid's going to put everything he can into this next corner, though.
Well, 3 wide here off turn 2 with Ted Wreckage again in a JW Racing sandwich. But Rhett Tucker's going to come here off turn 4, and he's going to win the Rich Get Richer 150.
Oh, and he spins it across the finish line. Excellent.
But how about Seth? We got Seth Reid in second, but how about Hedgecox finishing 3rd?
Yeah, amazing race for Jack Hedgecox, who definitely had his issues tonight, but did really well to overcome those issues and really keep this thing going. So great work on him. We will get those official results here very shortly, as you see the fireworks here at Richmond Raceway.
And always love the night racing here on iRacing. You always get the fireworks after the race, and it's probably one of the coolest things that iRacing added in. Is the fireworks. I always love seeing them after the races.
And we'll go back out there on the track as Rhett Tucker comes across the finish line once again, spins it out. So he's just having a great time on this one.
Yeah, I'm sure after the rough week he had at Nashville last week, he's relieved to come to Richmond this week and get a win.
Oh yeah, he's enjoying this, and like I said, an independent driver out there, so he's got the spotlight all to himself. Let's pull up those results right now and go through that top 18. But we got Rhett Tucker in first as an independent. Seth Reid for Highline Racing continues a good season for himself. Jack Hedgecox, again, great finish there, especially after being involved in a couple of those cautions or incidents out there. James Shane Wolf from J&W Racing and Matthew Robinson from J&W Racing rounding out the top 5.
And then you got Ted Wreckage leading the way for Rev Racing this week. Man, and like we said, Rev Racing still had a good couple of cars in the top 20, but definitely them and Tank Racing not having the night that they wanted tonight. But you got Jose Castellanos for Striker. Striker puts 2 cars in the top 10 tonight. Vincent Cortez, as we mentioned, for Tank Racing, leading the way for Tank Racing tonight, as a matter of fact. Adam Pettit for Rev Racing I didn't notice that Rev also had 2 cars in the top 10. and Tristan Bailey for leading the way for Smith Road Racing.
Yeah, David Duke stepping down from the Cup Series to take 11th as an independent driver here tonight. Jordan Bain in 12th for Rev Racing. After that pit strategy that we both questioned, he still came up in 12th. So nothing wrong with that. Nathan De La Rosa there for Jonathan Byer Racing in 13th. Aaron Gerwitz for Rev Racing in 14th. And Daniel Keith Jr. for Highline Racing there in 15th.
Yeah, Corey Saucier. Well, two teammates of Corey Saucier and Stan Hausman finished 16th and 17th for R&D Motorsports. Nathan Nixon finishing 18th for Rev Reloaded, and I don't have the list to finish up the top 20.
Yeah, the last two in the top 20, Zach Deuscher for Rev Reloaded in 19th, and then Greg Olenek in the shipwreck car finishes out in 20th for Rev Racing. So let's see if we can't get a couple of these guys up here for interviews. Let me see if I can find Jack Hedgecox down here in the chat. I think I finally did find him. Let me get him up here into the booth. Hey, Jack, this is Sean and Landon up in the booth, buddy. How's it going?
Going pretty well. Kind of shocked, but I'll take it.
Hey, I mean, I don't want to use the word shocked. I mean, it's not like you're not a good driver or something. It's just you had a couple of incidents early in the race. How did you battle back from it?
Oh man, it's been a battle ever since I tried to get here. I got here so late, man. I was cold turkey. I didn't expect much. I mean, I noticed my long run was pretty good, so I knew I had a good shot for some good points, but I didn't think I would be able to get all the way up here to, make my money back for the first time. So it's nice to get a top 5. But yeah, it was. I mean, I've always been good at Richmond, in the series, but I haven't raced ever since the Roval, and we all know how that turned out with my blockade. So it's been a little while. So, but hey, man, it was fun.
Yeah, Jack, we saw you, kind of like Sean pointed out, you had that spin early in the race, and just had to work your way back up through the front. But what was it like driving through the field and having to avoid some of those wrecks there at the end?
Well, from what I heard of what happened last night, I knew it was going to be a challenge. But that spin on the second restart, I was so bummed, but I knew I had plenty of time to be able to make my way back, and I wasn't starting in 32nd or whatever it was. So, I knew I could make up the time, and especially on that front of the who was it that spun, like Zachary or
right.
Whoever it was. Man, I cannot believe I made it through there, because I just remember my Dover incident, and I got destroyed in the exact same situation trying to get out of the way of it. But this time I got pretty lucky, so I'll take it.
Hey, man, we'll take luck all day, every single day. But who do you have to thank here tonight as far as sponsors or friends or however you want to do it, man?
Oh, man, I'm so new. I haven't barely raced. I don't even know my sponsor. I mean,
break out the list on paper.
Yeah, dude. I was trying to look for. I was like, oh god. I mean, thanks to Travis and all the guys, Brandon. I mean, I got out of work 20 minutes before this thing started. I was on the call, like, how much time do I got left? Freaking hustling down my apartment hallways trying to get here in time. And thanks to, he ain't here no more, but to Josh Gowen. He told me he wanted me to do this with him, and unfortunately he's not here no more. But hey, man, I'll take it. So, but I don't know the sponsors yet, all of them. Next time, hopefully, I'll have it with me. But just thanks to everyone at Stryker and all that, and glad to get them a top 5. So.
Well, man, get used to those sponsors. We expect to see you back up here once again. But, man, we will let you go back down to your team right now and celebrate and have a good time. But congratulations on a third-place finish tonight.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Have a good one.
All right, you too. All right, let's see if we can't get old Seth Reid up here. And then this is not an unfamiliar position for Seth. He has been one of our best drivers in the league all season long. But, hey, Seth, Sean, and Landon up here in the booth, man. How's it going?
Oh, good. How you guys doing?
Hey, doing great, man. Great run out there tonight. I mean, we expect nothing less of you, obviously, but definitely a great run, especially on a very difficult track like this.
Yeah, it's very technically challenging, and then just the throttle control. Just breaking loose, coming out 2 and 4. I knew that was going to be the biggest thing to manage this race.
We saw you up front most of the race tonight, and I mean, we see you up front constantly week through week. But do you think there was anything that you could have done differently to get past Rhett Tucker?
Just time to start better. I mean, once he got clear into turn 1, it was pretty much game over. I wasn't going to try to dive bomb him or anything. I'm just trying to get good finishes here on out. I keep digging myself in holes with Dover and the road course and everything.
Well, I mean, digging yourself back out to a second place finish isn't the worst thing in the world, but, we got Pocono coming up. What do you think of the Tricky Triangle?
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for some green flag runs. I love Pocono.
That's what we love to hear, man. Well, do you have anybody you'd like to thank before we let you get back down to your team tonight?
Honestly, just my team. We've been practicing a lot here at this track, and it shows. With me finishing second and Daniel finishing up there top 15. I don't know if Wayne got in an accident or not. And then you guys put on a hell of a broadcast every week, and honestly, the front guys, we took care of each other most of the race. We just had that one incident in turn 3. Aside from that, we all raced pretty well.
Well, man, we definitely enjoyed watching you out there on the track and up there towards the front of the race, and we'll look forward to that again next week as we invade Pocono. But we'll get you back down to your team. Congratulations once again on tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, well, let's get back out there and see if we can't get our race winner, Rhett Tucker, up here into the booth. Rhett Tucker, Sean, and Landon up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Yeah. What's up, boys?
Man, it is good. It is good. And you really had that car on rails all night tonight. Is this what you would consider one of your better tracks, or is this kind of one of those things out of the left field?
I guess I never feel totally comfortable here, man. It's so easy to overdrive in 1 and turn 3, but tonight I was really just calm. I guess I just tried to hit my marks, man.
Yeah,
but short tracks, I guess, are my specialty.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there, bud. We saw you last week at Nashville. You kind of ran a little harder than most of the guys, and kind of got had a short pit and was running on some older tires. What did you change this week to better manage your equipment and those tires?
Honestly, not. I mean, I guess I was just trying to keep the car under me, not push, not get loose. But I'm so bad at conserving my stuff. I just want to go. That's why I screwed myself at Nashville. But that worked out, man. There were some fast guys. I was worried about Zach and Adrian and a couple more of those guys, but luckily they got to fighting behind me.
That's what we'll call it. We'll call it fighting behind you.
That's what it sounded like, at least.
Well, man, we are heading from a short track, which you pride yourself on, to one of the biggest tracks on the circuit in Pocono next week. What do you think of those wide open spaces? What do you think you got for us next week?
We're putting the 99 on the pole, Sean.
Oh, all right.
We ain't looking back.
Man, all right. Love the confidence, man. Well, hey, who do you have to thank here tonight? I know you got some good sponsors on there.
You, Sean, Landon, cool to see you in the booth. At SRN, man, it's very professional and killer broadcasts every week. It's ran well. Trip, everybody that helps out, admin, Malware Bites, they're big help. I'm gonna have to hit them up for a new engine because we blew this one up doing a burnout. Matt from Track Racer, Simbox, Sparkle and Shine, Flavor Bomb. They help out with the series. I reckon that's about it.
Well, man, killer race out there tonight. Congratulations once again, and can't wait to see you there at Pocono to see if you can back up your words.
Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. Take care.
See you.
All right, Landon, we are going to jump down and take a look at what's going on next week. It is not the Tricky Triangle 150. It's the Tricky 150 because it is a little bit tricky. It should be the Tricky because there's 3 turns and they are all tough.
Yeah, confused Greg Olenek a little bit last night in the truck series. He said tricky triangle, didn't? But that's what you normally expect when you go to Pocono. It's called the tricky triangle for a reason. It's, Pocono is actually one of my favorite racetracks. It's got 3 distinctively different corners. They're all very challenging corners from different racetracks across, pretty much across the world. It takes, especially, we talked about tonight in the Xfinity cars being a driver's car. Pocono is a driver's racetrack. It doesn't matter what car you're in. You're going to have to, really focus on hitting your marks to be good at Pocono.
I think you said the right word, focus. And because anytime you have 3 different turns, 3 different angles, 3 different bankings, 3 different everything, you have to focus on every single one of those turns. And typically at the end of Pocono, you are worn out.
Yeah, you are. It's a very, it's not really a rough racetrack. It's just hard on equipment. It's hard on tires. It's hard on your body. You get done racing at Pocono and you're sore. It's just a very demanding racetrack that really wears you down.
Well, let's see what happens there at that racetrack, but we still have one more race here at Richmond, and that is the Cup Series, where you, buddy, you're going to be out there on the track for the Rich Get Richer 180 here.
Yeah, it should be a fun race. I've been putting a lot of practice in this week for Sunday, because this is one of the racetracks that, like we talked about, last night and tonight, track position is key. Staying out of trouble is key. So I'm really focused on trying to make sure that I keep my car clean and just try to stay up front and stay away from all the trouble.
Well, man, that is what everybody's going to be trying to do, is we go 180 laps around this place and see if we can't get a car in victory lane. But I think that's going to just about do it here for us tonight. So for everybody here at SRN, for myself, for Landon Lacey, for all the admins, all the sponsors, and all the drivers out there, we appreciate everybody for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, go faster.
Now, y'all.